Welcome to session 2 of a series working through van der Merwe's A Biblical Hebrew Reference Grammar. In this video, we'll be looking at section 9 primarily, which discusses the vowels and accent markings created by the Masoretic scribes. In sections 4 through 8, van der Merwe describes the Hebrew alphabet and the writing system. If you've learned Hebrew, it would be too redundant to go over this material again. If you'd like to refresh your memory of the Hebrew alphabetic system, check the description below. I've got some links to videos that can help you do this. In section 9, van der Merwe describes the Masoretic system that was developed between 600 and 1000 AD. The Masoretes provided vowel points to help pronounce the consonantal text. Prior to this time, the biblical text only had consonants with the exception of some consonants that could stand for vowels in certain situations. Beyond the vowel system, there are other signs that help one pronounce the language and read phrases, clauses, and sentences. We'll cover just a few important ones in the next few minutes. A metheg is a small vertical line placed beneath the consonant and usually to the left of the vowel. It serves to indicate a secondary or additional accent in a word. It frequently indicates when a short vowel appears in a weird situation. This prevents the reader from mispronouncing words. For example, it's used to distinguish between a kametz and a kametz hatuv. A mapik occurs in a hey appearing at the end of a word. It should not be confused with a dagesh. It ensures the reader does not mistake the hey for a vowel indicator. In Susa, the mapik enables the reader to clearly identify this as a third-person feminine singular pronominal suffix. In the Susa without the mapik, it indicates the noun is feminine singular. So one is her horse and the other is a female horse. The makef is the hyphen located at the top of the line that joins two words together. The two words are then counted as one unit for accentuation. Consequently, the accent goes on the second word of the pair. The sof pasuk is the colon that marks the end of a verse. In addition to the vowel system, the Masoretes created accent signs designed to help read the text. These signs mark the stressed syllable in a word, mark short and long pauses in a clause, show which words belong together, and provide help in liturgical readings. There are two systems of accents, one for prose and another for poetry, but most of the important signs, thankfully, appear in both systems. Here are a few of the most important accent signs to help you vocalize Hebrew better. First, the saluk is the vertical line written below the line and to the left of the vowel with which it appears. It marks the final accented syllable of the verse. Next, the atnak almost looks like the tip of an arrow. It appears below the line. The atnak divides a verse into two portions. It appears on the last accented syllable of the first portion of the verse. But note, this does not mean it divides the verse into two equal halves, just two portions. The tifcha is a small curved line going down and to the right. It appears below the line on the accented syllable. It has two possible functions. In short verses, it can identify the final pause in the verse. Also, it can identify the final pause before a saluk or an aknak, so either half of a verse. The zakef katon looks like a colon on top of the line. It appears on an accented syllable. This accent marker divides a long unit on either side of an aknak. The revia is a diamond-shaped character. It subdivides sections marked by a zakef katon, a sagolta, or a tifcha. It can also be used to identify the focal point of a particular clause. How words are spelled can be influenced by their position in a sentence. Words appearing at the end of a verse or section of a verse may undergo some changes to reflect the appropriate emphasis in reading. For example, short vowels sometimes lengthen in this situation. When this occurs, the word is said to be in pausal form. This form only occurs with the saluch, the atnach, or the zakef katon. Van der Merwe provides an illustration of this from Genesis 1, verse 6. The word mayim is usually spelled with a patak underneath the initial mem. However, in pausal form, the vowel lengthens to a kametz. The Masoretic scribes were opposed to changing the consonants of the text they preserved. That does not mean, however, they thought the text was without error. Occasionally, the pronunciation of a word and its spelling differed. The Masoretes created a technique for dealing with those situations. It's called ketiv and kere. A ketiv means what is written, and kere means what is read. They made a note in the margins, and they changed the vowels under the written word to reflect these issues. Vandermeer points to Psalm 54, verse 7 as an example of a ketiv and kere reading. The consonants have the word yashuv, made up of a yod, shin, vav, and bet. You'll notice that there's a small circle above the text, and this is a picture of the BHS. That small circle signals the reader to look at the margin of the document for a note. When you look at the margin, you'll find a kof with the word yashiv written above it, made up of yod, shin, yov, bet. The two forms are very close, but differ in spelling, and one has a vav and the other has a yod, and this actually changes the word in the text. While the Masoretes did not want to change the text, they did want the readers to vocalize it correctly and understand what word should be there. That's why they put the vowel pointing for yashiv underneath the consonants for yashuv. This type of situation happens frequently throughout the Old Testament. Some instances are so common they do not warrant notation from the scribes, though. For example, since Jews did not pronounce the divine name, they put the vowel pointing for Adonai under the divine name. However, because it's so common, they do not make a note of it in the margins. Vandermeer spends some more time discussing other Masoretic markings. They're interesting and helpful for reading the text, but the ones I have pointed out are among the most helpful for studying Hebrew at a fairly advanced level. The others are more helpful for even more advanced analysis of the biblical text preserved by the Masoretic scribes. And these accent marks really help us understand sort of the first line of interpretation that you can get when you study the Hebrew Bible. Oh, if you like this video, I just wanted to say thanks for watching. And if you're interested in learning more about biblical Hebrew, make sure you check out these other videos.